So this is the Euro Yen analysis for Monday, the 20th of November. Now, let's just have a look what happened with prices on the 17th and most recent trend. So we're just going to mark it out in the chart. So we've got the 17th just here. So on the 17th, as we can see, we've got our highs up here previously, a couple of previous days and around the 15th. We've had a series of lower highs in the most recent trend, even though the trend was upwards. We've had a series of lower highs, and on the 17th, it's been the same again. So we've had a retracement upwards, and we've had a lower high, and we've had prices slowly head downwards with smaller retracements. Now, on the 17th, significance of 17th. So we did come down to this. We did come down to the 200, 400 moving average. We didn't see much of a reaction. We did test the 3283 from beneath, and we did post this pin bar indicating that somewhat this region didn't hold. And again, we've seen some retracement all the way back down 3220. We've come pretty close to 3202. We saw a retracement again. We've seen more sell side momentum coming to the market. We've had this very strong bearish candle. Now, usually when we see strong candles, ideally we need to close near its lows. At the end of trends, well, in trends, near after we've been trending for a while, we do have a very strong candle. It's usually a blow-off candle, usually. So when we do see large candles near the end of, like, say, a downtrend or an uptrend, we usually see a somewhat heavy retracement. So the thing is, this candle didn't close near its lows. We saw the retracement before the candle closed, and we did have a previous somewhat bullish move just there. So we were possibly looking for a move up to 3202 before we possibly see some more sell side momentum. What we did see, however, was now I've just noticed on the charts is 3170. 3170 was the lower end of this zone, so we were operating within a trading range of 34 to 3440 to the upside, and 3170 to the downside. Now this is the trading range that we were operating in for a couple of weeks a couple of weeks now, and what we can see is we've got heading down to the lower end of the range. We've traded below it, we've retested from the other side, and we do look poised for further continuation to the downside. So we have to look for potential more downside targets. So on the downside, we're looking for to see prices move down to possibly 3060 before we see some bullish momentum or retracement, or down to 2945 again. We're looking for bullish momentum or retracement. Just before we get down to 2945, we've got a 130, which may be a psychological number, so we may just see some buy orders coming out of 130 region. Now, if we do see some see a degree of bullishness before we get down to this 130.60. Again, we were looking to see our price react to 31.70 to the upside, 32.02, and again, possibly we'll be looking for to see our prices react to 32.83 just up there. And we've got a 200, 400 per moving average, so we may not see much reaction to the 200, 400 per moving average sitting at 32.50, 32.83 before we see more sell side momentum come to the market. The overall, the most recent trend has been to the downside, so we are somewhat biased to the downside. So we're looking for potential opportunities to get better entries on a retracement. So all the way up at 32.02, 31.70. If we do have retest and continuation possible, sell patterns, you'll be looking for moves downwards. So in around 32.83, 32.02, and 31.70. Now, we've mentioned targets to the downside. We've mentioned potential targets to the upside if we were to see further retrace. We were to see a reversal in the primary trend. So what we'll do now is head over to the higher time frames, just have a look at the Euro Yen more in depth. So we mentioned that we're in a trading range, but we're going to have a look at the monthly chart first before we have a look at the daily charts and so on. So overall, in the monthly chart, we're in bullish territory. It's pretty clear here. We've had a series of strong bullish candles to the upside. Now we've got we do look poised to put in our second bearish month. We've had a pin bar on the previous month of October. We do have we are operating shadow of let's just bear with me a second here. We are operating in the shadow of that candle, and we do appear bearish this month so far. The high of the month so far has been 33.89 essentially, and we're quite a bit away from that. We do have some major levels before we get up to 33.89, but 33.89, but 32, yep. but we do look poised for further retracement. So we may retrace all the way back down. This is a medium-term target to that 200 period moving average here in blue. 200 period moving average here in blue is at sitting at 129.84. Before we get all the way down to the 200 period moving average, we've also got the 50 period moving average on here on the monthly time frame at 30.80. So 130.80 was another potential region. We might see some buy side momentum into the market before we look at the 200 period moving average sitting at 129.84. Now overall, like I said, the overall trend has been to the upside. Even though we've had some retracements, even though this month so far we've headed upwards at some point, as indicated by the sizable wick on the charts. So we have now had a downside continuation from last month. The fact that we did see some buying momentum come in the market suggests that there are buyers in this euro yen for continuation upwards to possibly the 140 region. Now let's just have a look at the weekly time frame before we go into the daily and wrap up. So over on the weekly time frame, we can see here that the overall trend is still to the upside. So even though we've posted a series of higher lows, we've come up to this 134. We've with this trading range here, we do appear to be breaking out to the lower end of the range. Now we do appear that it does appear, sorry, I should be using proper grammar. It does appear that we are heading on towards this 20 period moving average. We do seem to have had some sort of reaction there. So we've got a 20 period moving average currently sitting at 131.22. 131.20. 131.23 essentially. So that would come into focus. We'll see how prices behave there, react there, and we've also got the 200 period moving average sitting at the 130.05. Again, that's another level we'll be looking at, possibly seeing some more buy side momentum, as we are in a uptrend now, even though we are trading. Even though the most recent trend has been slightly to the downside, overall on the weekly time frame we are in an uptrend, so this might just be a period of consolidation, retracement before we get continuation to the upside. Now, mentioned all the levels we'll be looking at, so we'll just have a look at the daily time frame. On this daily time frame, we can see this trading range that we mentioned. So in and around this 134 to 134.50. So just there. We've seen a sell side momentum coming to the market, lower end of the range being at 131.70, and we've seen some buy side momentum coming to the markets. Now, we posted a lower high there, but we found some buy momentum at the lower end of the range. We've posted a higher high there, but it's not been too near the far end to the upside of the range in around at 134. It's a lower end in terms of the range. It's a lower high in terms of the range. We came pretty close to the upper end. I don't know. Let's just have a look how far we did actually trade. It might just actually be a test of the 134 actually. 133.89 essentially. So it's 11 pips or so. So I suppose it is good enough for a actual test. Yeah, 11 pips, I would say definitely. So we've come to the top of the range around at 134. We've seen more sell side momentum take us all the way down to the bottom end of the range. So again, we've had pretty much a triple rejection in around at 134 to 134.50. We do look poised for a breakout of the range to the downside, but we have to be aware of the 131.70 has been a very strong region, and that we have seen some strong buy side momentum coming to the market, so we have to be aware of that. Now, we mentioned the fact that we're in a range. We mentioned the fact that we sold off from that 134, previously 134.40, 134.15 around that zone. So we've come into the zone. We've seen more sell side momentum. The fact that we've got a very strong bearish candles closing near our lows, indicating some strong momentum. So we do look poised for more continuation this week. It'll depend on the catalyst really, because we could potentially see more buyers coming to the market as we are in an uptrend overall. So that should wrap up the Euro Yen analysis. Thanks for watching.